I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. We're coming on here with a Carolina Weather Group special report because there is a very large power outage affecting western portions of North Carolina and a lot of the hard hit areas that were impacted by Helene. We're looking right now at the Duke Energy power map and seeing over 25,000 Duke Energy customers alone seem to be without power in and around the greater Asheville area. This began in just the last hour or so here on this Saturday, May the 17th, 2025. And as I push in on the map here, you can begin to see where some of the heaviest outages are located. Those concentrations near Swannanoa, near Black Mountain, near Montreat and Ridgecrest, then kind of hooking around on the southeast side of the greater Asheville area, we can see power outages, several thousand customers along the US 74 alternate route, the Charlotte Highway route, about 3,000 customers there near Fairview. And this does hook all the way around to about 6 o'clock on the clock that would be Asheville here, with thousands of customers also without power near Asheville Regional Airport along the I-26 corridor. So this would also include areas like Fletcher and Arden. Now, according to the Duke Energy power map itself, Asheville appears to be okay, and that more or less seems to kind of be the picture we see at the moment when we look at the live camera from atop the historic courthouse there. But we know we are also seeing reports on social that there could be power outages actually in the Bumpkin area, the Asheville area as well too. So here's what we do know: the county government there, Buncombe County in western North Carolina, where Asheville does sit, but also, of course, there are areas of the county that are not the city of Asheville, has confirmed on social media that there is, in fact, a large Duke Energy power outage impacting many of their residents. They wrote on X. They are encouraging residents to check that power outage map that we just showed you here on our stream. But the reason we're coming on is because the cause of the power outages is officially unknown. So when you click on any of these outages on the Duke Energy map, you'll see that it says the cause of the outage. Well, actually, this has literally just been updated, because right before we came on the stream, it said the cause was unknown. Now it says the outage was caused by damage to major power lines. Let's click on a couple of these and see if they all kind of say the same thing. If you're listening to me right now on our audio podcast, I'm clicking around some of these outage areas in the Swannanoa area, now making my way kind of to the east along I-40, now closer to Black Mountain. And all of these messages have now just been updated just shy of the 8 o'clock hour here to say that there's been damage to some sort of major power line. So maybe a transmission line that would to feed power into these areas. The good news is that the restoration time still seems to be about 9:30 tonight, approximately an hour or two, maybe three. By the time I'm saying this messages right now live on YouTube and on Facebook. This one right here seems to be the latest so far, about 10:45 here on this Saturday, the May the 17th. But again, all of these messages just updated in the last few minutes to say there's been damage caused to major power lines. Again, I don't know exactly what major power lines is, but I imagine, given the size and the complexity of this outage, that it might be something, in fact, like a transmission line was damaged. And you can see when we look at this on a county level where this is kind of concentrated here in western North Carolina. This is where the bulk of the outages are right now in Buncombe County. About 20,000 customers without power. They do serve about 150,000 customers, to give you kind of the scale there. So we're talking maybe about 10% of their customer base. And then in Henderson, about 5,400 of their 70,000 customers. But that does seem to be where the outages are concentrated in the state. Now, I have gone and I pulled National Weather Service readings to try to determine whether or not wind could have been a factor here. And we can't say for sure, but what we do know right now is that the latest weather observations from Asheville Regional Airport are unavailable because, as we've seen, they don't have power. But what we saw about an hour ago, about 7 p.m. or so, they were still gusting. Winds were still gusting at about 28 miles an hour and have been for the last couple of hours. Because if you look on your screen here, you can see as we go back in time, 28 gusts, 28 mile per hour gusts, 23, 21, 28, 30. They kind of really picked up after that noon hour, and this is all a part of that cold front that's been rolling through the Carolinas today, brought us those storms this morning, and now is really kicking up the wind in a lot of places. And it's not just Asheville, but if we explore the area, Rutherfordton, same thing. We're getting gusty winds at about 25 to 30 miles an hour or so. And of course, they're then sustained at about 15, 16, 17 miles an hour or so. As we make our way into Morganton and Lenore Airport, the gusts are about 20, 25 miles an hour or so, a little less there as we made our way further along to the east. And just by comparison, Hickory, too, about 20, although, hey, 31 mile per hour gust here at about, let's see, that was just shy of 1800. So that would put it about 6 p.m. Eastern time here. Again, Asheville itself right now, no, we have no readings here at this 8 o'clock hour because they have no power. But the last readings we got were pushing that 30 mile per hour kind of amount. And we'll look at Shelby here as we kind of wrap things up. Shelby a bit calmer, and they still have power there. So that was just meant to kind of give you the lay of the land for where some of these outages may be occurring, or why some of these things may be occurring. Just looking at my watch here, getting some more information in right now about power outages that we're getting across much of the same, North Carolina and South Carolina dealing with these gusty winds right now. And we know that Duke Energy is not the only power company that services the Carolinas. They are one of the larger power companies, if not the largest. And they're also the provider for a lot of the smaller power companies, actually redistributed. But we do know that we are also seeing power outages along the Outer Banks. And Dominion Energy there at about 7 p.m. tonight telling Sam Walker they have about 4,600 customers in northeastern North Carolina without power, which is down from roughly 19,400 at the peak of the storm. That's on the complete opposite end of the state now. We started the stream by talking about western North Carolina. Sam Walker telling us in eastern North Carolina, the crews have been replacing roughly 40 broken poles in the Roanoke Rapids area. And so they've managed, as of about 7 o'clock tonight, to get most of, about 75% of 20,000 customers who were impacted earlier. Only about 4,600 of them now remain without power. So if I were to go ahead and pull up the Roanoke Rapids weather observations for today, we know a lot of you have been experiencing very gusty weather conditions. I know I am here in Charlotte. I went to Rowan County earlier today for the North Carolina Transportation Museum, and certainly out there it was gusting as well too. Halifax, Northampton Regional Airport, sustained winds at about 10, gusting up to 15 to 20. So, can I say for sure that the wind is causing all of this havoc? I guess I can't, but it seems like one of the local likely culprits, or at least a factor that is not helping, because as we've talked about time and time again on our weekly show, the Carolina Weather Group, we know that crews that go up in bucket trucks also have to deal with restrictions, safety restrictions, valid ones when it comes to going up in those bucket trucks in windy conditions. They have to wait until it's not too windy in order to safely get up and do a lot of the work that they have done. Sam telling me that a lot of those Roanoke Rapid outages began over the course of the last few hours, and they hope to have the remaining customers back up and restored by 11 p.m. tonight as crews work through the night and into the tomorrow morning, if necessary, to get everyone up and running there. We'll show you the outage map for Dominion Energy because this, again, an area here in eastern North Carolina, a lot of service areas also carrying over into Virginia, where crews have been replacing about 40 broken poles in the Roanoke Rapids areas. As crews replace those longer poles, it takes a little bit longer in construction time to kind of do some of that work. Down trees and storm debris have also been a big factor there, especially not only for the down wires, but also for the fact that they've had to clear their way on certain road blockages in order to get to some of this damaged area. So we know that Virginia has been especially hard hit with some supercell thunderstorms over the course of the last 24 to 48 hours or so. And so you can see here on the Dominion Energy map that does service northeastern North Carolina, and again, that Roanoke Rapids area, that they they are still working to get power completely restored to those customers. And again, some outages stretching as far north as the nation's capital, where Dominion Energy on the Virginia side still has about 11,000 out. So we know between storms and wind, there's been now thousands of you without power and electricity. And so we're coming on the air here at the Carolina Weather Group, not only streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, but also updating our audio podcast feed, because knowing some of you may not have access to your full power or your full internet. So sometimes streaming audio is a way that we can reach you here outside of our Wednesday night weather web show. We can also reach you on that audio podcast feed when things like this happen to break. But wanted to come on here tonight on this Saturday night and let you know that we were seeing that. The wind's sticking around here for a little bit longer as we look at the forecast for Asheville for the rest of tonight. The National Weather Service continues to tell us that gusty winds will be present not only through the remainder of tonight, gusting as high as 24, 25 miles an hour, but also in tomorrow's forecast as well, too. The good news is a lot of those storms will be done here for the rest of the weekend, mostly sunny with a high near 82 for Asheville tomorrow, but again, gusting up to 21. The winds will begin to calm as we get to Sunday night. We do get a chance of showers and thunderstorms returning into the work week forecast, and we'll be keeping a close eye on those right here on the Carolina Weather Group and also on the Carolina Weather Net, which streams for free right here on our YouTube channel, where you can watch radar, receive live storm alerts, and see sky cams all throughout the region whenever storms are rolling on through. And we know some of you got woken up this morning for severe weather alerts, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings in portions of the Carolinas. So as we talked about on this week's Wednesday night web show, it has been a stormy May, and it looks like more storms might be on the way. We should also mention, of course, that unfortunately some of these storms across the United States, across portions of the mid and deeper south, have unfortunately cost dozens of lives, as we have seen some pretty remarkable and scary and unfortunate damaging winds and also tornadoes in places like Louisville. And so our hearts and prayers are with all of our neighbors all across the region as, again, we're looking at pockets of communities across the U.S. that are cleaning up and dealing with storms. But recapping our breaking news now here on this Saturday night, thousands of customers in North Carolina remain without power due to some of the storms that came through Virginia and North Carolina, but also a mysterious outage in western North Carolina tonight caused by what Duke Energy is calling damage to major power lines. It looks like most of these customers that are impacted and still within the dark on this Saturday night should hopefully be restored either later tonight or tomorrow morning, according to what Dominion and Duke Energy are telling us. If we get any urgent updates, we'll bring them to you right here where you're listening or seeing me right now, or of course on our social media platforms throughout the night. But for now, from Charlotte, I'm James Brierton. Stay well, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.